Alrighty, folks, summer begins at 9:43 p.m. this evening on June 20th, and it's going to come with its first round of summertime heat. We're looking at a very hot stretch of weather, at least the hottest we've seen so far this year. We have yet to hit 90 degrees in Springfield. We'll probably get her done today and definitely going to happen over the weekend. So there's a heat advisory that expands really far northward, okay, even into northern Minnesota, parts of Wisconsin. Now, the criteria for heat advisory differs upon the location of where you are. So, the Minnesota heat advisory is going to be different criteria than the heat advisory, say, down in New Orleans, right? New Orleans sees 90-degree weather all the time. Northern Minnesota, however, does not see 90-degree weather all the time this time of year. So the heat advisory issued for them probably a little different than it is farther southward. Okay, so looking at this heat advisory, this extends for now mostly across the northern plains, parts of the Midwest, near up to the Great Lakes, extending really down the Mississippi Valley. All right, there'll probably be a couple days of heat advisories for today, tomorrow, Sunday through the weekend, and early next week probably going to still deal with some heat advisories, likely pushing a bit farther east with these next round of advisories later on in the coming days. But here in the Ozarks, we're not seeing an official heat advisory yet in southwest Missouri or northwest or north central Arkansas, but it's hot. Okay, this is our first taste of summer heat. All right, so temperatures, like I said, hadn't hit 90 degrees just yet, but they will likely be 90 degrees starting today. Ironically, it's the first day of summer as well. Taking a look at dew points, we see that we are now sitting at 70 degrees in Springfield. This morning, we started at 63 degrees. Now, dew point temperature is basically a measurement of how much moisture the air can hold, okay? And so this is kind of a measurement we use to determine the mugginess. How muggy is it going to be? Well, the summer muggies are coming in full force for this morning, and they're just going to keep on climbing. So we're 70-degree dew point now in Springfield, expected to probably climb maybe close to 74, 75 degrees at times today as well. So very sticky, very muggy. Again, the 60-degree dew points are long gone. That warm front lifting northward, the heat dome moving in, it's going to feel very humid. That heat dome, currently situated kind of over central Texas, is going to move to the east, over the southeast, and parts of Appalachia. And we're talking 90s, okay? Low to mid-90s across much of the southeast, the east coast, off towards the Midwest, and then, of course, here in the Ozarks, looking at our first 90-degree day today, then several more 90s through the weekend. Rain chances pretty low, all right? But generally the trend is goodbye spring, hello summer, all right? Now, there's something interesting about this heat wave, something that makes it a little of a rarity, somewhat of a rarity, the farther northward you go. Again, so parts of the Great Lakes, they'll be dealing with temperatures in the 90s, as well as portions of southern Canada. All right, so for, July and August, well, sure, yeah, we'll throw in a heat wave there occasionally, no big deal. But for June, it's pretty rare to find these big spikes of 90-degree weather up that far north. It does happen, but not every year, certainly not all the time. But that's not the main headline with this, okay? The main thing that's really going to be kind of near record breaking is just the dew point temperatures. Man, these are going to be near record, if not new record, dew point intensities for portions of southern Canada and several areas around the Great Lakes and really the northern U.S. and also the Northeast. Toronto, Canada, could see a dew point 70 to 75 degrees Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday as well. So that is very unusual. They typically average this time of year, late June 20th. The average dew point around Toronto, about 56 degrees, all right? And so you're talking dew points about a good, 15, 20 degrees warmer than that. And they're looking at near record dew points for this time of year. Okay, they've seen 70-degree dew points before. That's not uncommon, July and August and all that. But for June, pretty rare. Doesn't happen all that time and may not have ever happened before to see dew points quite so high. But there's a lot of it. Part of the reason why the dew points are high is we got this heat dome building in, and also the Gulf is rather warm. We have a warm, wet water body. You release a lot of moisture off of those water bodies. And so the Gulf is warm right now. A lot of moisture coming off of the Gulf goes into the air as a water vapor. and travels northward and gets kind of trapped in the heat dome. So heat dome also kind of traps the local environment under its high pressure dome. That's why it's called a heat dome. It kind of holds everything in place, and it kind of takes a lot to move it out, or at least change the weather pattern. No major changes in the weather pattern are expected, so things look to be pretty hot and sticky all week long for a big chunk of the eastern U.S. Really, just if you're east of I-35, you're going to deal with this heat wave for this week. Okay, rain chances here locally in the Ozarks are pretty low, which is fine. We've had plenty of rain, too much rain really around the Ozarks, and so no rain chances. We could see some, pop-up, typical, summer daytime heating type showers, and maybe a clap of thunder for the middle of next week during the afternoons. But chances there are no more than 20%. And then the end of next week, possibly next weekend. So now we're looking at the June 28th, June 29th. Possibly some rain and storms trying to formulate there. But it all depends on, can we move the heat dome out? Will it weaken enough for the jet stream to push on in with that next storm system? So we'll just have to watch that. But for the meantime, very warm, very humid. Our first taste of summer. Be sure to take breaks when you need to. Drink plenty of water. We're not really acclimated to this type of heat yet. We will be soon enough. But it's our first heat wave. So, listen to your body. If you feel tired, if you feel like, man, I could probably use a drink of water, go get some. Go find some rest. Take a 5-minute break in the shade and just cool down a little bit, and then go right back to work if you're working outside. Anyway, all right. I'm meteorologist Tom Schmidt with Ozarks First in Springfield, Missouri, from the Ozarks First digital desk. Heat wave, what we're talking about. Stay safe, stay cool, and have fun this weekend.